my problem is that most of the divisions in the UFC are only going to have one title fight for the year. And let's compare this to a couple years ago. We had Volk, we had Iggy, we had Kamaru Usman, we had Charles Oliveira. All these guys were fighting all the time. Every 3 to 4 months, one of these guys would fight. They were all going in there. They're defending their belts. The divisions were moving. The UFC was exciting. Compare it to now. Every division gets one fight a year for the title. It makes the whole divisions move so slowly. It makes the contenders not want to fight. It's like, well, I'm fucking next. Why do I need to fight 3 times? The champion's just sitting on his ass. You know what I mean? And it's just completely halting the UFC. It's completely killing all the momentum. And they're just doing nothing about it. What's up, guys? This is Hard Takes MMA here. Coming to you with kind of a rant, kind of a thesis, whatever you want to call it. The UFC has a big problem, and that is the champion's inactivity and how it is killing the momentum of the sport. And we're going to break down every UFC champion right now and kind of why they're not moving and why I'm worried for the rest of the year in the UFC. It's February 19th, I think. I ain't be checking the date for real, but as of this recording, the only championship fight we have booked is Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira in April. That's the first title fight of the year. How is the first title fight of the year in April to start with? And how is that the only fight that's booked? So, January had an interim belt headline to pay-per-view. No pay-per-view in February. March, we have the BMF belt headlining. April, we got Joshua Van. There's some rumors that Alex Pereira is going to move up. And then we're going to see Yuri versus Carlos Ulberg and the main event at that pay-per-view. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's it. That's it. No champions are scheduled for the rest of the year. And now here's the problem with that. If you're telling me that between May and December, like 6-7 months, grown man, by the way, that multiple of those champions are going to fight twice in those like 6 to 7 months, it's not going to happen. I want active champions. Skill-wise, the champions are the best they've ever been. Arguably, except for Joshua Van, because, Demetrius Johnson exists. But, you know what I mean? How are these the best champions we've ever had? And they're just never fighting, dude. It's like, what's the point? Alright, so starting off with flyweight, we got Joshua Van. Joshua Van's the best champion right now. And hard take, I know, but he's the only champion that wants to go in there and fight all the time. Obviously the way he won the belt was bad. It was messy. The way Pantoja just broke his arm in the first round, people don't credit him as a real champion. But here's the thing. He wants to go in there and prove that he is that real champion. I think if they would have put him on the January pay-per-view, he would have fought. I think if they would have put him on the March pay-per-view, he would have fought. Which, by the way, the March pay-per-view still doesn't have a main event. Bro, Joshua Van is right there. Joshua Van is right there, and they put him on April, dude. I think if you put Joshua Van on the March pay-per-view, I think he would fight again in a couple months, and then a third time later in the year, bro. Joshua Van is the only champion that wants to fight, and they just didn't book him for the longest time. And I'm just glad they finally booked him, and I'm glad they gave him Tatsuro Taira, because if Manel Cap was in there and he won, it'd be the same thing as every other division, because Manel Cap only fights once a year too. So Joshua Van, he's not the best champion in the UFC, but he's a fun fighter. He has a fun fight style. He has fun press conferences, and he loves to fight. Moving up to bantamweight, we have Petr Yan as champion. And I like Petr Yan as champion. That being said, I think he's only going to fight one more time this year, and it's going to be the Merab rematch. Now, here's why. Obviously, the UFC wants to just give Merab an immediate title fight. I think they've came out and said that, so Merab is next in line. But Merab needs some time off. I think they completely could have gave Petr Yan a title fight in May, or April or May, and then have him fight Merab later in the year, give Merab a nice break, and then do that way. But they don't want to do that. They just want to give Merab the next title fight, and they're just going to make him wait for it. So Petr Yan, he's going to fight again in May or June. You think he's going to fight another time by the end of the year? Maybe December, maybe, but at that point, one title defense. I think Petr Yan has one more title defense this year. And I like Petr Yan as champion. I do. I think he's very, very technically skilled. I think he has fun, exciting fights. He's a big cult following. I get all of that, but I want to see some activity, dude. I don't want to see all these divisions just have one title fight this year. Moving up to featherweight, we have Alexander Volkanovski. Now, I'm gonna cut Volk some slack here. Volk has been extremely active and extremely dominant for years. You know what I mean? I think the reason he's had this big layoff between the Diego Lopez fights, which, by the way, Diego Lopez should not have got that title fight, bro. That matchmaking pisses me off so much. I do think Volk is going to fight 2 times this year. I think he's going to fight the winner of Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. And I think he's going to fight again later in the year, probably around November or December. I do think Volk is one of the few champions that is going to get 2 title defenses this year. And it's crazy that 2 is becoming the fucking gold standard, dude. I don't know. Maybe we just had it too good then. I don't know, but I know Volk's, he's like almost 40. I'm gonna cut him all the slack in the world. He's been active for years. He's getting old. Like, you know what I mean? Volk can have I'll cut Volk some slack, and I'll cut Alex Pereira some slack, but we'll get to that later. Alright. Moving up, we have Ilia Topuria at lightweight. He took no damage in the title fight, bro. He could have fought again the next month. Fucking just feed him, bro. Just feed him. He's gonna go out there and knock all these guys out in the first round. I think the only one who even poses a little bit of threat for Ilia Topuria is Arman Tsarukyan. I think Ilia Topuria is gonna maybe fight one more time this year, and I don't even know that it's going to be at lightweight. I can see him vacating and moving up to fight Islam at 170. And it's just like we're about to go on a long stretch of champions who took no damage in their last fight that just aren't fighting anytime soon for no reason. And next up, we have Islam Makhachev, arguably the GOAT of the sport. I'm in favor of it. I know a lot of people are in favor of it. Like, you know, you can think what you want. You can call it if you want. I think Islam's the GOAT of the sport. That being said, he fought once last year. Maybe twice. I can't remember if Moicano fight was in January, February. It might have been. But even then, like, it was Moicano, dude. He took no damage in the Moicano fight. Had a long layoff. And then he took no damage in the JDM fight. Why doesn't Islam have a fight book, dude? Like, I just don't get it. He took literally no damage in that JDM fight. Dominant win. No damage. Nothing. But you know what? He did have a better fight than the next person we'll talk about, and that is Khamzat Chimaev. It was literally 25 minutes of crucifix, dude. Like, there was full-on rounds where there was less than 5 significant strikes thrown. He took no damage because nothing happened. And he's always on Twitter talking about he's the best fighter in the world, how he beat anyone. He's talking shit to Alex Pereira. Like, dude, defend your belt, dude. Literally, he used to be so hungry. He used to, like, remember when he made his debut and then he fought again the next week? Bro, I think Khamzat Chimaev can realistically fight every 3 months and be fine. I don't know if the problem is that he just trains too hard and he's just never, like, ready for a fight camp. I don't know if it's that he just doesn't want to fight. I don't know what it is, but just do something, bro. Like, literally, like, no damage whatsoever at all. Moving up, we have Alex Poatan Pereira, who I will also cut some slack. Obviously, he was super active the past couple years before he lost to Ank. He saved several pay-per-views, went on a big knockout streak, and I'm going to give him all the grace in the world. That being said, he took no damage against Ank the second time, dude. In the second Ank fight, he took no damage. It's like, I feel like he could have fought again by now if he wanted to. I think they're waiting to see what happens with Tom Aspinall to see if he's going to move up. And I do think what's going to happen there is we're going to see Yuri Prohaska versus Carlos Olberg for the vacant belt. And I'm okay with that fight. I really don't need to see Pereira fight Olberg. So I'm okay with that. I just wanted to see something get booked. You know what I mean? And finally, in heavyweight, we have Tom Aspinall. You know who? I will also cut some slack. Obviously, Tom, it's like a meme now that he never fights. I didn't think he didn't fight for over a year waiting for John Jones, which isn't his fault. He immediately fights Cyril Gane. And he gets eye poked and that fight's just nothing. I think Tom Aspinall is just getting constantly screwed over. I think he wants to be active. I just think the UFC kind of fucked him over. John Jones fucked him over. Cyril Gane fucked him over. Dana White's mad at him for getting injured for some reason. Because literally Cyril Gane is his fault. He was the one who stuck his fingers in his eyes. And now he's like going to get mad at Tom Aspinall about that. Like, bro, that shit makes no sense. I just really don't like how they're handling the whole Tom Aspinall situation. And I just want to see something get announced, you know, if he's going to come back soon, if they want to book a fight, happen soon. If they want to just book an interim with Alex Pereira versus whoever. They can do that soon. I just want to see something happen in the division. I want to see some movement. I want to see some movement in these divisions. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that these champions are bad by any means. I'm just saying I'm tired of UFC not having any fights booked. I'm tired of there not being any fight momentum. I just want to see something get booked. But let me know what you guys think. Are the champions ruining the UFC? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is Hard Takes MMA. And as always, stay hard.
Got a private jet, but I stay up in the shadows. They not in the city, I'm winning all the battles. I'm a billionaire, boy, go check the tag bucket. Black on black suit, yeah, custom made jacket.